This is something that's just been really sitting with me a lot lately. I don't know what happened that made me start thinking about it, but just the idea of, is art valuable in the world anymore? Does art hold any intrinsic value? Like, is this makeup that I do worth anything? Does this have any value to anyone? Do our performances hold any value for anyone? From what I experienced, the answer is no, because it's been 2 years since we've actually really made a living. Can you come out? As performers. So that we've actually made any money as performers since we've been traveling. And it it does bother me. It does sit with me in a way that doesn't make me feel so good, because um, we're in a position where we're not, we're not in a space where we're struggling for money or we're trying to survive to make money, because the cost of living here is affordable, and the parts of the world we're choosing to live in, that's why we're choosing to live in them, is because they're affordable to live in. But we can't make money performing, and we can barely perform even, because what I've learned from rules and regulations and stuff is that, come on, baby, come out, come on, is that you really can't perform anywhere in this day and age, because you even have to have work visas and stuff that are very expensive. I mean, work visas for Bali are about $2,500 a piece for a 2-year period. And you have to pay that every 2 years as long as you want to work here. And you technically can't even just work and perform wherever you want to. You have to get it, you basically have to be employed by an organization, and then you can only work there. So we technically really can't do anything here. And if we wanted to make even small amounts of money from performances, from donations or something, like we would do in the United States, we have to spend $5,000 for a work visa. So that, for me, that doesn't make any sense. So I've been recently looking to our online audience for support, just to see if people do value what we do. And we spent a couple of years at the end of when the pandemic was happening in San Francisco, where we played 5 days a week and performed in the tunnel in Golden Gate Park. And it was all completely like, we didn't necessarily have permission to do that, or any kind of sanctioning, and we were stopped by police and park rangers all the time. And eventually we were thrown out of the space because they didn't want us to play there anymore. And that's America, where we have citizenship. So we technically really can't perform there either. And then New York is dead. The Central Park has just been completely overtaken by a bunch of selfish, greedy assholes who have completely taken control of the Angel Tunnel, and we can't perform there anymore. Balboa Park is completely controlled by park rangers and police. We never really could play there. Any of these places that we've performed over the years have all died, basically, and we no longer we haven't made a living as artists for years. And that doesn't mean that we haven't been making art. It doesn't mean we have stopped performing. We've performed all over the world. We performed in Mexico. We performed from Puerto Vallarta to Guadalajara, Mexico City, Playa del Carmen, Cancun, Cozumel, and all over, we performed in New York, in Nashville, all in Lisbon, in Madrid, in southern France, in Amsterdam, in Budapest, Bucharest, Plovdiv, Turkey, all these places, and then recently Bali and Chiang Mai, and Siam Reap. And these are all all these performances that we have given, that I've been documenting for the last 2 years in particular, have been free. We've not made a penny from doing these performances. And we put in the same amount of effort as we always have. And in the past, we would make minimal amounts of money. We would make, enough to pay the bare minimum to like barely pay our rent and barely pay for food. And a lot of the times we were having to go into our savings to pay for stuff, like especially in places like New York, where rent is so ridiculous. In San Francisco, we've been blessed to have we had a safe space to live in for free, where we didn't have to pay rent, which was amazing, which made it possible for us to be there. But eventually San Francisco became too expensive, even just to live, even without having a rent. So, and with rent, there's no way we could live in San Francisco. There's no way we could live in New York. And, but technically we could perform in New York or San Francisco or San Diego, or technically, because we have citizenship there. But we always had trouble with park rangers and police and people telling us, no, you can't do this here, even in our own home country. And cost of living is so high that it's not even worth being there anymore. It's not worth it. The amount of money would make would be so small that it would barely cover our expenses, so we'd end up just barely making ends meet and then leaving because we couldn't, sustain it. But then here, in all the other parts of the world, we've not made money from playing music. Not anywhere in Mexico, not anywhere in Southeast Asia, or Europe. We make little bits here and there, just from little things we would do, little performances and stuff. But mostly we've been living off our savings, and it's fine. We're fine. We're not in any danger or anything, not by any means. But I've just recently been in this state of like really realizing that we do deserve to be compensated for the work that we do, and that we do have an audience. It's not huge, but there is an audience watching us online, and people will leave all sorts of nice comments and saying things of, you guys, deserve the world, and you guys are geniuses, or you're superheroes, or whatever stuff people say to be nice. And I appreciate what people say. I do. And I know that people are being as sincere as they can, but also it doesn't really mean anything because they're not giving us anything. We're just doing this for free. And we do it because we love it, yes. We're not just doing it for money. Obviously, for the last 15 years that we've been performing together, if we were doing everything we did solely for money, we wouldn't be doing all the things that we've done. Like I would not have been dressing up to the 9s and 10s, putting on, hours worth of very colorful, creative, original makeup, and doing my hair, and making costumes, and creating and writing and performing original music. We would, if money was our sole focus, it was the full reason why we were doing what we did, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. Anybody who knows us well knows that that's true. Anybody who's seen us perform even just one time could know that we're not doing it for the money. And money has always been very minimal in regards to what we do. It's always been just enough, or not enough. And that is the nature of being a true creative original artist, is that you will do what you do for the love of it, and you have to do it for the love of it because money is can't be the reason why you do it. I've been also very blessed because I've never had to have a job. I don't have to have a job. I don't have to work. We're very blessed. We have a home. We have a beautiful life here. There's this beautiful view of the jungle. Excuse me. We have our sweet little puppy, and it's just, we have a good life. We can be creative. I think we can play music. We have a kind of sort of a space to play in, kind of, but it's always kind of been this way, where we've just been struggling to be seen and feel heard and actually have our work be valued for what it is. Like I would say that there were times in San Francisco during the pandemic in which people would be very generous, and we'd be completely shocked. I mean, during that time, during the pandemic, we would play, like I said, we'd play for 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, and we weren't selling anything. There was a time long ago in which we used to sell CDs. Anybody who has been following us for a long time would know that we used to sell CDs. And we don't anymore because there's no reason to make CDs. Nobody has CD players. Nobody has a way to listen to recorded music other than on Spotify. So there, that's what's happening. And but we actually made the most amount of money when we were playing in San Francisco that we've made in years as street performers. And I don't really know why. I think it's probably because when we were busking, there was no other music happening, there was no other art happening in San Francisco or anywhere in the world, so people were very like longing for live performance and stuff, and art and creativity, and we were some of the only people sharing it, so people were very generous and appreciative. But we weren't giving anyone anything. We weren't, exchanging anything. And it's interesting, people would sometimes throw us $100 bill in our case, or $50 or whatever, and really valuing what we're doing. And it's been years. It doesn't mean that it won't change, that we could possibly start making money again. But because we're in a foreign country, it's tricky. It's harder. It's more complicated. We technically can't really perform anywhere, and we technically can't really make money anywhere. But it feels like because that's the case that we could be. It doesn't matter where we are, just so long as our cost of living is low and we can maybe have a little space somewhere in our backyard where we could sing, then maybe we could, that would be okay. But I really want to perform for people. I really want to play for people. Um, I don't want to just sing to the wall because that's not what our work was meant for. It's meant to be seen and heard. We're meant to be witnessed. Anyway.